team. Yes, to do ESPN gigs, to coach Team USA. And just the other day, they released a snippet on Twitter with them highlighting Stephanie White accolades. But they left one accolade out. That is Stephanie White coaching tenured down at Vanderbilt, where one season she only won 7 damn games. Yes, Google it. It's for real. She only won 7 games in a college basketball series, and I believe she only won 15 SEC games.
Indiana Fever president Kelly Christoph resurfaced after an extended stretch of public silence, gone from social media, unreachable through any channel, offering nothing to the fan base that had been looking for some kind of acknowledgement. That wall came down recently when she spoke to the media about a matter carrying real weight for the organization and arguably for the broader landscape of women's basketball. There is no shortage of conversation building around the Fever ahead of the 2026 season. The loudest of it surrounds head coach Stephanie White, who has been drawing sharp criticism for juggling her responsibilities with the franchise alongside ESPN analyst work and her duties leading Team USA. The organization recently pushed out a video on social media spotlighting White's career highlights, but the clip made a pointed omission.
In a college basketball series, and I believe she only won 15 SEC games the whole time she was there. Why they want to hide that, I don't know. But we have also Cathy Engelbert appearing on the Pat McAfee show. She's coming out of hiding too. So I don't know if this just hide and seek appear day, but that's what we're getting. We're getting a whole lot of appearance today from people we ain't heard from, seen since, I don't know, August. I just gotta be for real. Now, with that being first, we got
her tenure at Vanderbilt never came up, despite the fact that she posted a 7-win season there and accumulated only 15 SEC wins across the entirety of her college coaching run. That chapter was quietly left out. Around the same stretch of time, WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert broke her own extended silence, sitting down with Pat McAfee, two of the league's most prominent figures, both largely absent from public view for months, both stepping forward in the same window. Christoph's remarks focused on the centerpiece project currently taking shape in downtown Indianapolis, the Indiana Fever Sports Performance Center, a $78 million facility being constructed on the sports entertainment campus.
For real. Now, with that being first, we got to jump into the Kelly Christoph news, and that is her speaking about the Indiana Fever $78 million practice facility. The Fever are currently building a world-class performance center. I wonder how did they pay for that? You know, that's just food for thought, guys. How y'all think they able to build all of this? I believe that we might have helped them pay for all of that, y'all. And what's crazy about
ground broke in September 2025, and roughly 7 months into the build, the structure is visibly rising. The target for completion is spring 2026, positioning the facility to be ready ahead of the 2027 WNBA season. Our home is coming to life and we're so excited, Christoph said. When the concrete goes down, you're laying the foundation for the next generation. The project is being framed as something bigger than a practice gym, a statement for women's sports in Indianapolis and beyond. It is also worth acknowledging that a facility of this magnitude almost certainly does not get approved without Caitlin Clark in a Fever uniform.
Crazy about all of this is that I don't believe they have this $78 million project if Caitlin Clark don't join a team. That's just my personal opinion about it. But it goes on to say the Indiana Fever have had a tremendous success over the last 2 years, ever since drafting who? Caitlin Clark. In 2024, the team became the most popular team in the WNBA and also made the playoff consecutive years. Now, before Caitlin Clark got there,
the financial and cultural shift the franchise experienced after drafting her in 2024 is inseparable from an investment of this scale. The stats speak clearly. Since Clark arrived, Indiana became the most-watched franchise in the WNBA, posted back-to-back playoff appearances, and generated commercial interest the organization had never previously attracted. Before she got there, postseason basketball was not part of the picture.
Consecutive years. Now, before Caitlin Clark got there, they wasn't making the playoffs, y'all. I just got to keep it real. I mean, like, no disrespect to Kelsey Mitchell, but if Kelsey Mitchell was like that, they would have been making the playoffs, bro. I just got to be honest. And, you know, people could feel how they want to feel, but before Caitlin got here, y'all was in a sunken place. Like, let's just be for real. Not just y'all, so don't feel bad, but the WNBA as a whole was in a sunken place. Now,
on the McAfee show, Commissioner Engelbert addressed the newly finalized 7-year collective bargaining agreement, a deal that went through 10 stretches and had genuine work stoppage speculation attached to it throughout the process. CBAs tend to get done at the 11th hour, she said. This one carried a lot of meaning not just for the WNBA, but potentially for women's sports as a whole. Engelbert described the negotiations as anything but a clean, straight-line process. Bargaining sessions frequently required both sides to abandon whatever position they had walked in with and start fresh.
Place. Now, the article goes on to say, sure enough, with how the team is doing, there's plenty to look forward to in its future. Off the court, the Fever are also working to keep providing the best place for players to improve their game. That commitment is on full display in the team's $78 million facility called the Indiana Fever Sports Performance Center, which is currently being built right now. The Fever had the groundbreaking for the new Performance Center in September 25. Now,
the objective throughout, she said, was building something that worked for players, owners, fans, and the financial foundation of the league. We're in our 30th year, the longest-running women's professional sports league in the United States, by double, she noted. We took that seriously. On the economics of the deal, Engelbert pointed to the challenge of increasing player compensation meaningfully while keeping the business model attractive enough to sustain growing investment. The league currently holds broadcast arrangements with ESPN, Disney, NBC, Amazon, CBS, and Versant, a media footprint that did not exist at this scale just a few years ago.
Groundbreaking for the new Performance Center in September 25. Now, nearly 7 months later, the construction has made a lot of progress. The team shared an update on the status. Now, this is what Kelly said. So Kelly said, our home is coming to life, and we're so excited, Kristoff stated. When the concrete goes down, you're laying the foundation for the next generation. The Performance Center is set to open ahead of the 2027 WNBA season, and the Fever are targeting an opening date of
the $7.5 million salary cap structured across 7 years was built around a financial model both parties agreed could hold up over time. The most significant player gain is a full revenue share tied to both league-wide and team-level income, the first time in league history players benefit directly every time revenue grows. McAfee raised the historical comparison. The NBA needed decades to reach profitability, the NFL nearly half a century to become the commercial force it is today. With the WNBA celebrating 30 years, how does leadership project the next chapter?
And the Fever are targeting an opening date of spring of 2026. Let's check out.
7 months ago, we started putting shovels in the dirt, getting ready to start progress, and now, we actually have something to show people. I know if you've been driving by, you've seen it, but our home is coming to life, and we are so excited.
It's incredible. It's going to be a transformative project for the Fever, for women's sports, for Indianapolis.
We're laying the foundation, really. That's what we always talked about.
Engelbert acknowledged that the financial projections circulating during negotiations painted a challenging picture, but she maintained the final structure strikes the balance required for the league to grow sustainably rather than overpromise and underdeliver. The sharpest moment of the appearance came when McAfee asked Engelbert directly about Caitlin Clark. The commissioner has not historically been perceived as Clark's loudest champion within league circles, which made her answer notable. Caitlin, without question, has been a huge part of the growth of our league, Engelbert said.
And we got to talk about this for Brianna Stewart, staying at the New York Liberty. Let's take a listen.
I will be staying in New York. I'm not planning on taking any free agency meetings. Even though I am unrestricted free agent, my family is set up here. We're solid here. Exactly. Bring that Statue of Liberty right out here. I'm going to be back in New York, and that's all there is to it. So good luck to everybody else in free agency, but I'm not a part of that.
Y'all heard it here first, man. One of the best in the league. She stated her mark. Shout out to New York, man.
She's not only an incredible player, but a great ambassador for the game. She pointed to Clark's involvement with the NBA on NBC as evidence of how well she has handled the weight of her platform. Whether that represents a genuine shift in how the league's leadership views Clark's individual contribution to the WNBA's rise or simply a recognition that the numbers have grown too large to keep at arms, the length is a question the coming season will help answer. One of the first major moves of the free agency period has been made, and it involves Breanna Stewart, arguably among the top handful of players on the planet right now. Her form heading into this offseason has been sharp.
Man, one of the best in the league. She stayed at her mark. Shout out to New York, man.
And not only that, obviously, look, Stewie is someone that is huge. She is not the only player to have fully committed to playing for the New York Liberty. It is, in fact, Sabrina Ionescu has also committed her future to the New York Liberty. Because this is kind of a big one, because, first of all, you won't hear Jonquel Jones saying it, because I don't think Jonquel Jones is coming back. I think
She hit her stride toward the tail end of Unrivaled. The ball was going in consistently, and she was excellent when the postseason came around. Her injury situation had clearly thrown a wrench into New York's plans at various points, but none of that appears to have shaken her commitment to the franchise. Stewart made it clear she has no intention of exploring the market. Her family is settled in New York, there are no meetings being scheduled, and despite holding unrestricted free agent status, the decision has effectively already been made.
I think Jonquel was, as good as Jonquel was to start the year, I thought Jonquel was horrendous in the playoffs. Yes, she was a finals MVP, but drop-offs can happen quick. Drop-offs in basketball can happen quick, especially with the amount of money that Jonquel is going to cost. Drop-offs, it's one of those things where it's look, you just gotta go and make the best decision for your franchise. And if you're
she is staying put.
New York Liberty, you don't have a first-round pick because you gave it up in the Natasha Cloud trade. You gave up that first-round pick to get Natasha Cloud, so it becomes really, really tough. But Sabrina and Stewie coming back is good for the Liberty, but I don't know what else they can get. I genuinely don't. I don't know what else the New York Liberty are going to be able to get in free agency. I don't know what they get, because they don't have draft picks. The
read on her situation is that a return seems unlikely. She was outstanding at certain stretches during the regular season, but her performance in the playoffs was a considerable step down. That kind of drop-off can happen fast in this league, and when you factor in the contract number she would command, it becomes a difficult calculation for any front office to work through. Adding to the complexity is New York's roster building situation.
The one good thing is that while they don't have draft picks, they have the rights to Raquel Carrera. They have the rights to Marine Photo. They have the reserve rights to Han Zhu. They have I get it, she's not going to come over because she didn't have a good season. She hasn't had a good season in a while. They have the rights to Annika Soltau. They have Kane as well. They have the rights to a lot of these players, and they might just eventually come over, which kind of makes up for the lack of draft picks. And they picked almost all of them via trade.
The Liberty do not hold a first-round pick. That asset was moved in the deal that brought Natasha Cloud to the team. Without that pick, the flexibility to add through the draft simply is not there. What the team does have, however, is a collection of international rights. Marine Johannes, Raquel Carrera, Han Shu, and others are technically tied to the franchise,
which kind of makes up for the lack of draft picks. And they picked almost all of them via trade. That being said, you're looking at a situation here with the Liberty where I don't see the Liberty coming out into the season with one of the 3 or 4 best rosters in the league. I just don't. And even if they do somehow keep the big 3 together and Stewie and Sab take a pay cut, I don't see either of them taking a big enough pay cut. I don't see Jonquel taking a pay cut. Because whatever about Stewie and Sab, and this is what people are like, oh, Caitlin Clark.
Most have not produced at a level that makes their arrival imminent, but those rights represent a kind of deferred asset that partially compensates for the absence of draft capital, especially since most of those rights were acquired via trades rather than the draft itself. Even with Stewart and Ionescu locked in, the realistic picture for New York entering the season is that they will likely not hold one of the 3 or 4 strongest rosters in the league. Keeping a third star alongside those 2 would require significant salary concessions, and there is little indication that is coming. Stewart and Ionescu taking pay cuts is one thing, but Jones is a separate conversation entirely.
And this is what people are like, oh, Caitlin Clark can take a big pay cut to keep the band together, but it's like Kelsey also wants to take one. And I can see Caitlin taking a bit of one. I can see Aaliyah taking a bit of one. I can't see Kelsey taking one. And like Kelsey's someone who's almost made it clear like she's all about getting paid. So I don't see her taking one. And that's one of those things where it's like, I think we are in an era where a lot, like, you need to have a star. So it might be on the way the new CBA is, you might need.
She has made little secret of the fact that getting paid is a priority, and expecting a meaningful discount there does not line up with the signals she has sent. This ties into a broader shift happening across the league. The new CBA structure appears to be pushing things in a direction where having a superstar on a rookie-scale contract is almost a prerequisite for title contention. When a franchise does not have that luxury, the math on assembling 3 or 4 max-level players simply does not work.
So it might be on the way the new CBA is, you might need to have a superstar in a rookie deal to have any chance. Like, we might end up seeing a lot of short-term deals and a lot of vet free agents jumping from team to team to team because a superstar in a rookie deal is like a prerequisite to winning a title, because it's basically an effective way to get 3 to 4 max players on your team. Like, when it comes to the Indiana Fever, I have no question about it. The Indiana Fever would be the best team in the WNBA if the Caitlin Clark rule didn't come in.
Veterans may start rotating more freely from team to team on shorter arrangements as a result. The Indiana Fever are the clearest example of what that structure can look like when it works. Without the designated player exception triggered by Aaliyah Boston becoming max eligible, Indiana would theoretically have been in position to pursue essentially any available power forward in the league. Names like Aziz and Alana Smith would have been realistic targets,